Now, before I start doing the first demonstration, I want to suggest that you watch the video of this first demonstration through to the end before you try the exercise yourself. I think that will help you be more successful, since we're doing a wet-in-wet process, which can be tricky, and you want to watch how I do it and maybe even watch it through more than once and then attempt to do it yourself. So let's get started. I thought I would just start off by showing you two photographs of thistles so you can see how they look as they're growing. And you have this beautiful magenta head with spikes coming out of it, and the flower head comes out of this bulbous, spiky green part of the plant. As far as the plant goes, I wanted to just show you this photo I took to show you how these little spiky bits come out of the stem here. Now, we're not going to paint this in a realistic fashion. We're going to do the impression of thistles in a very loose style, but it is good to know what the plant looks like so that when you've completed your painting, you and others will be able to recognize what it is. Even though it's done in a more impressionist, almost abstract way, you'll still know it's a thistle painting. Another thing you need to decide about is your composition. Are you going to do just 3 thistles like this, leave a bunch of white space, or are you going to cover most of the paper with the stems and do a whole bunch of thistles? And I love this painting. It sold as soon as I did it, and I love the way I created the texture here on part of a flower and so on. So you really want to decide that before you start, otherwise you can get into trouble. So you want a good composition. You want uneven numbers of flowers, 3, 5, 7, whatever it is you want to do. And I would suggest you take a pencil and very lightly mark in where you're going to do the flower heads, so that when we're going to put the background in first, which is a very pale quinacridone gold, and then we're going to paint wet into wet with the flower heads, and it's just going to run like it did here and create some great textures, and it's just going to be a very loose painting and real fun. So mark in with your pencil where you're going to do your flower heads, and once you've done that, we can start painting.